Hey everyone, this is me. And today I'm going to share something with you that completely changed how I think about hydration, especially for anyone over the age of 60. Now, before you click away thinking this is just another hydration video, I need you to hear me out because what I'm about to tell you goes against everything you've probably been told your entire life about drinking water. In fact, if you're over 60 and you're still drinking plain water throughout the day, you could actually be missing out on one of the simplest ways to improve your circulation, boost your energy, and potentially add years of vitality to your life. I know that sounds dramatic, but stick with me for the next few minutes because the science behind this is absolutely fascinating, and the solution is so simple you're going to wonder why nobody told you this sooner. So if you or someone you love is over 60, do me a favor and watch this entire video because by the end you're going to understand exactly why plain water just isn't enough anymore and what you need to add to it to literally transform your blood flow starting today. Alright, so let me start by saying something that might surprise you. Water is essential. We all know that. Every cell in your body needs water to function. But here's what most people don't realize, and this is especially critical as we age. Drinking plain water by itself, especially in large quantities throughout the day, can actually dilute essential minerals and electrolytes in your bloodstream that are absolutely crucial for proper circulation and blood flow. Now, when you're young, your body is incredibly efficient at maintaining mineral balance. Your kidneys are working at peak performance, your cells are absorbing nutrients optimally, and your cardiovascular system can compensate for minor imbalances pretty easily. But once you hit 60, things start to change in ways that are subtle but incredibly important. Your kidneys don't retain minerals as efficiently as they used to. Your cellular absorption decreases. Your blood vessels become less elastic. And here's the kicker, your blood actually becomes slightly thicker and flows less efficiently through your circulatory system. This is one of the main reasons why people over 60 have a significantly higher risk of blood clots, poor circulation, cold hands and feet, fatigue, brain fog, and even serious cardiovascular events. And you know what makes all of this worse? Drinking plain water without the proper minerals and electrolytes to support optimal blood viscosity and circulation. I see this in my practice all the time. Patients come in complaining about fatigue, dizziness, muscle cramps, and poor circulation. And when I ask them about their hydration, they proudly tell me they're drinking 8 glasses of water a day, sometimes more. And I have to gently explain to them that they're doing the right thing with the wrong approach. So, what's the solution? What's this one trick that can boost blood flow fast? It's actually beautifully simple. Instead of drinking plain water, you need to drink mineralized water with specific electrolytes and compounds that support optimal blood viscosity and circulation. Now, I'm not talking about those sugary sports drinks loaded with artificial colors and high fructose corn syrup. I'm talking about adding specific natural minerals and compounds to your water that have been scientifically proven to improve blood flow, reduce blood viscosity, and support cardiovascular health, especially in people over 60. And the best part? You can do this at home for pennies per serving, and you'll start feeling the difference within days, sometimes even hours. Let me explain the science behind this because once you understand what's happening in your body, this is all going to make perfect sense. Your blood is essentially a liquid tissue made up of plasma, red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. The viscosity or thickness of your blood is determined by several factors, including your red blood cell count, your plasma protein levels, and critically, your hydration status and electrolyte balance. When your blood is too thick, it moves sluggishly through your vessels. Your heart has to work harder to pump it. Your organs and tissues don't get oxygen and nutrients as efficiently, and your risk for clots and cardiovascular problems goes way up. This is called hyperviscosity, and it's incredibly common in people over 60. Now, here's where it gets interesting. When you drink plain water without proper minerals, you're adding volume to your bloodstream, which seems like it would thin your blood, right? But without the right electrolyte balance, your body can't properly regulate fluid distribution between your blood vessels and your cells. you might actually end up diluting important minerals like sodium, potassium, and magnesium that are essential for maintaining optimal blood viscosity and vascular function. Plus, and this is crucial, plain water doesn't provide any of the compounds that actively support nitric oxide production in your blood vessels. Nitric oxide is one of the most important molecules in your entire cardiovascular system. It's a gas that's produced by the cells lining your blood vessels, and its job is to signal your blood vessels to relax and dilate. When your blood vessels dilate, blood flows more easily, your blood pressure decreases, and oxygen and nutrients are delivered more efficiently throughout your body. The problem is that nitric oxide production naturally declines as we age. By the time you're 60, you're producing significantly less nitric oxide than you did in your 30s and 40s. This is one of the primary reasons why blood pressure tends to increase with age and why circulation problems become more common. So, here's what I recommend, and this is what I do personally every single day. Instead of drinking plain water, I add 3 specific things to my water that work synergistically to improve blood flow, support nitric oxide production, maintain optimal electrolyte balance, and improve overall cardiovascular function. These 3 things are sea salt or Himalayan salt, lemon juice or apple cider vinegar, and a small amount of beetroot powder. Now, let me break down exactly why each of these ingredients is so powerful and how they work together to transform your hydration and your circulation. Let's start with sea salt or Himalayan salt. I know what you're thinking. Doctor, I've been told my entire life to avoid salt because it raises blood pressure. And yes, excessive sodium intake, especially from processed foods, can contribute to hypertension. But here's the nuance that often gets lost. You need sodium for proper cellular function, nerve transmission, muscle contraction, and critically, for maintaining proper blood volume and pressure. The issue isn't salt itself. It's the type of salt, the amount, and the balance with other minerals, especially potassium and magnesium. When you add a small pinch of high-quality sea salt or Himalayan salt to your water, you're not just getting sodium, you're getting a complex matrix of trace minerals, including magnesium, potassium, calcium, and dozens of other trace elements that support optimal cellular function and cardiovascular health. These minerals help your cells actually absorb the water you're drinking instead of it just passing right through you. They maintain proper electrolyte balance, which is essential for nerve and muscle function, including your heart muscle, and they help regulate blood volume and pressure in a natural, balanced way. I typically recommend adding about a quarter teaspoon of high-quality sea salt or Himalayan salt to about 32 ounces of water. That's enough to provide beneficial minerals and electrolytes without overdoing the sodium. And if you have kidney disease or are on a sodium-restricted diet for medical reasons, definitely talk to your doctor before making this change. But for most people over 60, getting adequate minerals in their water is far more beneficial than drinking plain water. Now let's talk about lemon juice or apple cider vinegar. Both of these are acidic, but don't worry. They actually have an alkalizing effect on your body once metabolized. More importantly, they both contain compounds that support cardiovascular health and improve blood flow. Lemon juice is rich in vitamin C, which is a powerful antioxidant that protects your blood vessels from oxidative damage and supports collagen production, keeping your vessels strong and elastic. It also contains citric acid, which can help prevent kidney stones and support healthy blood pH. Apple cider vinegar contains acetic acid, which has been shown in studies to help regulate blood sugar levels, support healthy cholesterol levels, and improve insulin sensitivity. All of these factors directly impact your cardiovascular health and blood flow. But here's the really interesting part. Both lemon juice and apple cider vinegar contain compounds that support the production and preservation of nitric oxide in your blood vessels. Remember, nitric oxide is that critical molecule that signals your blood vessels to relax and dilate. By supporting nitric oxide production, you're directly improving blood flow and reducing the workload on your heart. I recommend adding the juice of half a lemon or 1 to 2 tablespoons of raw, unfiltered apple cider vinegar to your mineralized water. You can use one or the other, or alternate between them depending on your preference. Some people love the clean, fresh taste of lemon water, while others prefer the tangy complexity of apple cider vinegar. Both work beautifully. And now for the star of the show, beetroot powder. This is the ingredient that really takes this hydration strategy to the next level, especially for blood flow and circulation. Beets are one of the richest dietary sources of nitrates, specifically inorganic nitrates that your body converts into nitric oxide through a fascinating biochemical pathway. When you consume beetroot, whether it's the whole vegetable, the juice, or a concentrated powder, the nitrates are absorbed in your digestive system and converted first into nitrite and then into nitric oxide. This process happens both in your saliva through bacterial action and in your blood vessels through enzymatic reactions. The research on beetroot and cardiovascular health is absolutely incredible. Study after study has shown that beetroot supplementation can significantly lower blood pressure, improve blood flow, enhance exercise performance, and support overall cardiovascular function, especially in older adults. One study published in the journal Hypertension found that drinking beetroot juice reduced blood pressure by an average of 8 points systolic and 4 points diastolic within just a few hours, and the effect lasted for up to 24 hours. That's comparable to many blood pressure medications, but completely natural and without side effects. Another study in the Journal of Applied Physiology found that beetroot supplementation improved blood flow to working muscles and enhanced exercise tolerance in older adults. The participants were able to exercise longer and with less perceived effort when they consumed beetroot before their workouts. This is because the increased nitric oxide production from the beetroot dilated their blood vessels, allowing more oxygen-rich blood to reach their muscles efficiently. And it's not just about exercise performance. Improved blood flow affects every organ system in your body. Your brain gets more oxygen, which can improve cognitive function and reduce brain fog. Your kidneys function more efficiently, your digestive system works better, even your skin looks healthier because it's receiving better circulation and nutrient delivery. I recommend adding about 1 teaspoon of beetroot powder to your mineralized water. You can find high-quality organic beetroot powder at most health food stores or online. Some people prefer to use fresh beet juice, which is fantastic if you have a juicer and enjoy the taste. But the powder is convenient, shelf-stable, and just as effective. Fair warning, beetroot can turn your urine and stool a reddish color, which is completely harmless, but can be alarming if you're not expecting it. This is just the natural pigments called betalains passing through your system. So, let me put this all together for you. Instead of drinking plain water throughout the day, here's what I want you to do. Take a 32-ounce water bottle and fill it with filtered water. Add a 1/4 teaspoon of high-quality sea salt or Himalayan salt. Add the juice of half a lemon or 1 to 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. Add 1 teaspoon of beetroot powder. Give it a good shake or stir until everything is dissolved, and then sip this throughout your morning or early afternoon. The taste is actually quite pleasant. It's slightly salty, slightly tangy, with a mild, earthy sweetness from the beets. Some of my patients describe it as refreshing and energizing, which makes sense given what it's doing for your circulation and cellular hydration. I recommend making this mixture once or twice a day. You don't want to overdo it with the beetroot, especially if you're not used to it, because it can have a mild laxative effect in some people due to the fiber and nitrates. Start with 1 batch a day and see how you feel. Most people notice increased energy, better mental clarity, reduced muscle cramps, warmer hands and feet, and an overall sense of improved vitality within just a few days. Some people notice effects even sooner, especially the energy boost from improved cellular hydration and the circulation benefits from the nitric oxide production. Now, I want to address some common questions and concerns because I know some of you might be skeptical or worried about whether this is safe for you. First, is this safe if I'm on blood pressure medication? This is a really important question. Beetroot can lower blood pressure, sometimes significantly. If you're already on blood pressure medication, adding beetroot to your routine could potentially lower your blood pressure too much. I strongly recommend talking to your doctor before starting this if you're on any cardiovascular medications. They may want to monitor your blood pressure more closely and potentially adjust your medication dosage as your blood flow and pressure improve naturally. This isn't a reason not to do it, it's just a reason to do it under medical supervision. Second question, what if I don't like the taste? I get it, not everyone loves the earthy flavor of beets or the tang of apple cider vinegar. The good news is you can adjust the ratios to your taste preference. Start with smaller amounts and gradually increase as you get used to the flavor. You can also add a small amount of raw honey or stevia if you need a touch of sweetness, though I generally recommend avoiding added sugars, even natural ones, if possible. Some people also like to add fresh mint, cucumber slices, or ginger to enhance the flavor and add additional health benefits. Third, can I drink regular water too, or does it all have to be this mixture? Great question. You don't have to exclusively drink this mineralized water. I recommend having 1 or 2 32-ounce bottles of this mixture per day, and if you need additional hydration beyond that, plain water is fine. The goal is to ensure that a significant portion of your daily hydration includes these beneficial minerals and compounds, not to completely eliminate plain water from your life. Though honestly, once you experience how much better you feel with properly mineralized nitric oxide supporting hydration, you might naturally gravitate toward it anyway. Fourth, what about people under 60? Is this only beneficial for older adults? Absolutely not. While the blood flow and circulation benefits are especially important for people over 60 because of the natural decline in nitric oxide production and cardiovascular function with age, anyone can benefit from proper hydration with minerals and electrolytes. Athletes have known this for decades. That's why sports drinks exist. Though again, the commercial versions are usually loaded with sugar and artificial ingredients. If you're under 60, active and health conscious, this mixture can support your performance, recovery, and overall vitality beautifully. Let me also talk about some additional lifestyle factors that work synergistically with this hydration strategy to really optimize your blood flow and cardiovascular health. Because drinking mineralized beetroot-enhanced water is fantastic, but it's even more powerful when combined with other evidence-based practices. First, movement and exercise. This doesn't have to be intense or complicated. Simply walking for 30 minutes a day has profound benefits for circulation. When your muscles contract during movement, they squeeze your blood vessels and help pump blood back to your heart. This is especially important for the veins in your legs, which have to work against gravity to return blood from your lower body. Regular movement also stimulates nitric oxide production in your blood vessels, complementing the nitrates you're getting from the beetroot. Second, managing stress. Chronic stress releases hormones like cortisol and adrenaline that cause your blood vessels to constrict, raising blood pressure and reducing blood flow. Finding healthy ways to manage stress, whether that's through meditation, deep breathing, time in nature, social connection, or hobbies you enjoy, has direct and measurable benefits for your cardiovascular system. I personally practice deep breathing exercises for just 5 minutes every morning, and it's made a noticeable difference in how I feel throughout the day. Third, sleep quality. When you sleep, your body does incredible repair and regeneration work on your cardiovascular system. During deep sleep, your blood pressure naturally drops, giving your heart and blood vessels a chance to rest and recover. Poor sleep or insufficient sleep keeps your cardiovascular system in a state of stress, elevating blood pressure and promoting inflammation. Aim for 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep per night, and if you're struggling with sleep, address it as a priority because it affects literally every aspect of your health. Fourth, nutrition. The foods you eat have a profound impact on your blood viscosity and cardiovascular health. Foods rich in omega-3 fatty acids like wild-caught salmon, sardines, walnuts, and flax seeds help keep your blood flowing smoothly and reduce inflammation. Colorful fruits and vegetables are loaded with antioxidants that protect your blood vessels from damage. fiber-rich foods support healthy cholesterol levels and blood sugar regulation, and avoiding excessive processed foods, refined sugars, and unhealthy fats reduces the inflammatory burden on your cardiovascular system. I also want to mention some other foods that are particularly good for blood flow and nitric oxide production. Dark leafy greens like spinach, arugula, and kale are rich in nitrates, similar to beets. Garlic contains compounds that support healthy blood pressure and circulation. Pomegranate has been shown to increase nitric oxide production and improve blood flow. Dark chocolate with at least 70% cacao contains flavonoids that support vascular health. And citrus fruits are rich in vitamin C and flavonoids that protect and strengthen blood vessels. Now, before we wrap up, I want to share a real story from my practice that really illustrates the power of this simple hydration strategy. I had a patient, let's call her Margaret, who was 72 years old. She came to me complaining of constant fatigue, cold hands and feet even in warm weather, frequent dizziness when standing up, and what she described as brain fog that made it hard to focus and remember things. She'd been to several doctors who ran various tests, and while her blood pressure was on the higher side and her cholesterol was slightly elevated, nothing was alarmingly abnormal. She was put on a low-dose blood pressure medication, but she still felt terrible and was frustrated that nobody seemed to be able to help her feel better. When I sat down with Margaret and went through her entire lifestyle, diet, and daily routine, one thing stood out immediately. She was drinking 6 to 8 glasses of plain water every day because she'd been told that hydration was important, especially at her age, but she was getting almost no electrolytes or minerals because she ate a relatively bland diet and had been avoiding salt for years due to concerns about blood pressure. I explained to her the concept we've been discussing today about mineralized hydration and nitric oxide production. I had her start drinking the exact mixture I described, 32 ounces twice a day with sea salt, lemon juice, and beetroot powder. Within 1 week, Margaret called my office excited to report that her energy had noticeably improved and the brain fog was lifting. Within a month, her hands and feet were warmer, the dizziness had resolved, and she felt like a different person. We rechecked her blood pressure, and it had actually decreased to the point where her primary care doctor was able to reduce her medication dosage. 6 months later, Margaret was off the blood pressure medication entirely, her cholesterol had improved, and she described feeling better than she had in a decade. Now, was it only the hydration change? No, we also worked on her diet, stress management, and exercise routine, but she credits the mineralized water as the catalyst that gave her the energy and clarity to make those other changes and stick with them. I've seen similar stories play out dozens of times with patients who implement this simple strategy. It's not a magic cure-all, and it won't replace necessary medical treatment for serious conditions, but it's a foundational practice that supports your body's natural ability to maintain healthy blood flow and cardiovascular function. And the beauty of it is that it's simple, inexpensive, and you can start today. So, here's my challenge to you. If you're over 60, or if you know someone who is, try this for 2 weeks. Get some high-quality sea salt or Himalayan salt, some fresh lemons or raw apple cider vinegar, and some organic beetroot powder. Make the mixture I described, 32 ounces of water with a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, juice of half a lemon, or 1 to 2 tablespoons of vinegar, and 1 teaspoon of beetroot powder. Drink this once or twice a day and pay attention to how you feel. Notice your energy levels, your mental clarity, the temperature of your hands and feet, how you feel when you stand up, your exercise tolerance, everything. I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised by the difference such a simple change can make. And if you found this information valuable, do me a favor and share this video with someone you care about who could benefit from better circulation and cardiovascular health. Leave a comment below letting me know if you're going to try this or if you've already been doing something similar and what results you've experienced. I read every comment and I love hearing from you. And of course, subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss future videos where I break down evidence-based health strategies that can truly transform your vitality and longevity. Remember, Your health is your most valuable asset, and small, consistent actions compound into remarkable results over time. Don't drink plain water again after 60. Give your body the minerals, electrolytes, and nitric oxide support it needs to maintain optimal blood flow and cardiovascular function. Your heart, your brain, your muscles, and every cell in your body will thank you. This is me reminding you to stay curious, stay proactive, and stay healthy. I'll see you in the next video.